Well, everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and take a look at the Google Pixel 7 and compare it against the Pixel 4 XL and see which specific phone you should go and pick up. Now, I'll go and leave both these phones linked in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, this is a very interesting comparison, mostly because the Pixel 4 XL, which came out in 2019, was the bigger phone. It was supposed to be like a big phone at the time. The Pixel 7, though, is now roughly around the same size, which is actually very interesting. Now with the Pixel 4 XL, you have a 4.3-inch POLED display on the front. So this was a phone that came out in 2019, and it definitely doesn't feel bad. Like, I think it feels pretty good for the most part. And I do think there's phones that still have came out after this phone that didn't look as good as this one. You do have a little bit of a, I don't know what this is, like a bezel up top, as well as a little tiny bezel at the bottom. But I will give them credit from the Pixel 3 XL. This one looks substantially better. Now this is also a 90 Hz screen, which I think looks pretty good. It's not a bad panel at all, and I still think it holds up decently well in this day and age. Now with something like the Pixel 7, this is a 6.3-inch AMOLED display as well, so it is actually the same size display, and this isn't even the big one. So that's what's crazy, how big phones have gotten. And even in 2019, this was supposed to be a big phone, and it's only gotten pretty much bigger. The fact that this one is the standard one, and it's the same screen size as this. Now this is also a 90 Hz panel, so it still looks very good. It's still very sharp. It's 1080p as well, so it's a little bit of a low resolution. This one was 1440p, but this one still looks great, and I don't really have too much to complain about it. So very interesting, the same screen sizes. Now for the rest of the body, it's a little bit of a different type of structure. It's always hard turning the screen off. With the Pixel 7, I would definitely say it feels much more premium in the hand. Although they are both aluminum, I feel like this texture that is on the Pixel 4 XL doesn't really feel as premium as the Pixel 7. I'm not too sure why that is, but I'm glad that the Pixel 7 feels more premium because it is the newer phone. Now with the camera bumps, you can kind of see as well how much bigger of a camera bump you're getting on the Pixel 7. So that might be something that you might want to keep in mind. You're getting SIM card trays. It's funny, I've never seen a I don't remember the last time I've seen a top SIM card tray like that. With the Pixel 7, it's right down here. Both of them have USB Type-C ports right here as well, with the speaker grills at the bottom. And now on the back, you can kind of see what we're working with. So it's a little bit, tiny bit of like a different type of layout. So they're kind of the same thing though. So they both have dual camera setups that are kind of in like the top right corner. Obviously, it's a little bit, actually, it's not even that much lower on the Pixel 7. And with the Pixel 7, you have this massive thing that stretches all throughout. The Pixel 4 XL is kind of in a corner. Now you do get glass backs on both, which honestly feel very good, and they do kind of feel the same. So there's not really that big of a difference. This one feels more like the jet black iPhone, if you remember that one. Now both of these phones support wireless charging, which is great, but this Pixel 7 does support reverse wireless charging, which is really awesome. So you can charge other devices from your Pixel 7, and that is a really awesome thing. The Pixel 4 XL doesn't really have that. Both these phones support IP certification, which is great. They both have tons of features built in, which we'll get into throughout this video. And overall, those are pretty much the main differences. I'll definitely tell you for the Pixel 4 XL, for it coming out back in 2019, I think it still holds up very well. Although the Pixel 7, I think, is probably the better one when it comes down to it. Now, another thing is pretty much with software and longevity. So I just talked about this with my Pixel 4a video, but I don't know how much longer this phone is going to last if Google's going to switch things up. With Android 13, which is, that just came out, you're definitely going to be getting still a very fast phone there, but with the longevity portion, it may make a little bit more sense if you go up to a Pixel 7 or maybe even like a Pixel 5 or 6 if you want a longer lasting phone. So that is the only thing I can kind of suggest in that standpoint. Otherwise, I still think a Pixel 4 XL, with it having stock Android, with the apps being updated, with it potentially maybe even getting Android 14, who knows, you're still going to be getting a decently supported phone on this device. But do keep in mind the Pixel 7, the 7 Pros, those are going to be far better in terms of pretty much everything than the 4 XL, as they should. So in terms of that, if you want a longer lasting phone, definitely go for the Pixel 7s. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The Pixel 4 XL internally has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset inside of it with 6 GB of RAM, where the Pixel 7 has that Google Tensor G2 chipset inside of it with 8 GB of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. Let's go and hop all the apps in the background, as you guys can tell. So let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, Pixel 4 XL is here, Pixel 7 is here. So I'm getting the messages 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Hopping out of here. Play Store 3, 2, 1. And very close. I actually don't know which one is the faster one there. Scrolling through, you can kind of see that both are very similar. The Pixel 4 XL, I think, is glitching up a little bit more, but they are both very good. Hopping out of these apps, Very smooth on both. 'Cause 90 hertz on Android really does make a big difference. Camera 3, 2, 1. And kind of the same thing, not that big of a difference. Let's take a photo. This one is on night mode, so it's going to take a little bit longer time. There we go. Let's go and get into this camera. And you can kind of see again, kind of the Pixel 7 was the faster one there. Scrolling over here. Now, funny enough, we don't have any similar applications that I didn't download on either one, which is very weird. So I'll have to stick with stock ones. Calculator 3, 2, 1. Very similar experience. Going into here, let's do calendar 3, 2, 1. A little bit of a delay on the Pixel 4 XL right there. Hopping out of here again. Let's go and get into clock 3, 2, 1. Very, very similar. Let's go and hop onto it again. Let's go and try something like, let's get into settings 3, 2, 1, which I already opened up here, so it might be a little bit faster. For some reason, it was kind of delayed on both, which was very, very weird. YouTube 3, 2, 1. So two different things on both, so we're going to kind of have to let this one slide as well. Let's go and get into something else. Let's go and get into something like photos 3, 2. I don't know where photos is here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go and hop out of here again. And let's do one other application. I think I know which one is going to be the faster one, but I guess for the video's sake, we will do contacts 3, 2, 1. So very similar. I will tell you though, from my test with the Pixel 4 XL as well as the Pixel 7 and the standard Pixel 4, I will pretty much tell you that the Pixel 7, now that was very interesting how the Pixel 7 actually ended up restarting the app where the Pixel 4 XL did not. There are still tons of glitches within the Pixel 7 that Google needs to fix, so hopefully they can address them. The smoother and the faster phone should theoretically be the Pixel 7, but it is demonstrated to me that the Pixel 4 XL is still pretty fast, but as well as the Pixel 6 was kind of faster than my Pixel 7 as well. So hopefully Google can go and fix these things as well. Now we can go and move on to the camera department, which is very interesting. So when we move over to the cameras, like I said, dual camera setups on both. So you're getting a wide and an ultra wide camera on the Pixel 7. We're getting a wide and a telephoto lens on the Pixel 4 XL. So kind of like a flip-flop thing going on. You can do 4K at 30 on the back of the Pixel 4 XL as well as 1080p on the front. The Pixel 7, you can do 4K at 60 on the front and the back, which is really, really nice. Now with something like the Pixel 4 XL, I think this camera is pretty good. I will say there's not really too much to hate on it. Is it perfect? No, you are lacking that ultra-wide camera, and I feel like Google could have done a way better job with this camera at that time. You have the ability of doing 8x zoom with that telephoto lens. Just remember that number, 8x zoom, and you can do standard 1x zoom on the back. You have portrait mode, night sight, video mode, and the standard modes right here. But otherwise, I think the quality of this camera is still decent. There's really not too much to hate on it. But with social media applications and stuff, you're not going to be getting like the best quality of all time. With something like the Pixel 7 though, this is a really good camera for the price tag. For $600, it is definitely not a bad price at all. So if we take a look, like I said, 8x zoom on here. If you look on the Pixel 7, it's also 8x zoom. It's pretty much digital, so you don't have that dedicated telephoto lens, but it's still really nice that we have that capability, as well as 0.7x zoom. So there's a ton of zooming in and zooming out on this phone, even though it doesn't have a dedicated telephoto lens. Now you have portrait mode on this phone, you have motion mode, you have night sight, you have the standard video mode, I always slide out of it. You have cinematic mode on this, which is like portrait mode for video. So that's another awesome thing. You have the standard modes here too. So you were getting a solid phone from the, Google Pixel 7. It's easily one of my favorite phones this year as well. So not only are you getting better cameras, you're getting better battery life, better performance, better everything. This is a really, really good phone, and I'm really happy Google made a phone like this. With the Pixel 4 XL, I was also at that time happy Google made a phone like this too, but the problem was the battery life. I wasn't that big fan of a battery life, but this phone still holds up very well. You saw how this phone held up in the performance standpoint. It really wasn't that much slower, and I do think this phone is still a decent, like if you own this phone and you're having a good time with it, I would just recommend keeping it if you can for another year. If not, then going up to a Pixel 7 is a big upgrade, but also going up to a Pixel 6 is also a really big upgrade as well. So the choice is yours. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, so long.